Okay, so what you're looking at, you sent me a piece of text from the book to read.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know that I want to read that text out loud because I'm not an actor.
Okay.
And, but, Ian Somerhalder would be amazing reading that text. But I wanted to point out something in that text that shows how deep Bret is thinking when he does stuff. In the text, Paul has gone from Camden to Boston, right? And so looking at the monitor right now, you'll see that what I've done is I've created a route based on the bus trip that he takes. Now, Bret is making a point here because there is no way that this is the bus that he takes. He doesn't, he stops in Lawrence and then Bellows, then Newport, Walcott, Winchester, and then ultimately at Camden, which I assume is Bennington.
Yeah.
And so looking at it, you realize he has done the most circuitous snake-like path, through, all these states, to get back to school. What is Bret saying? This is a coded joke. There's so many of these inside of the material. The material is so dense with these little inside gags like this. Like Paul, on his gay holiday trip to see his mom, he takes the most non-straight route that one can imagine. It is like a giant, he goes everywhere. He's traveling through, this is a 10 and a half hour trip that Bret is describing as, this kind of overnight thing on the way back to Bennington. So maybe that was the case. Maybe it really was, maybe he really did take this trip. But looking at the geography, which I hadn't done when I made the movie, was actually kind of interesting to me because I realized, they mentioned Keene in the movie and in the book. Like in the hospital, they're like, we've got to take him to the hospital, and so in Keene, that's all the way in Keene or whatever. And looking at it, you can see Keene is up here, right near Bellows, which, a small drive from what must be Camden, which is obviously Bennington. I mean, it's now clearly it's Bennington.
Right.
Anyhow, I just thought, like, I looked at that and I was like,
oh, this is great. This is perfect. Thank you.
I looked at that and I just thought it was amazing.
Yeah, that's really, There's so, like, going through each book, this has been like, I like it because I wanted to do something this year where I just really went into material like this because I write myself, and I just wanted to have something that I did regularly that like kind of is a discipline to really look into stuff as you're working on it. And this is great. Thank you.
I mean, it's interesting because, Paul's, I mean, in many ways, he's my favorite character because he's the one who, like, feels the deepest and the most, I feel. It's so easy to want to follow Sean, as a main character because of how, like, incredibly damaged and strong a character he is. Paul is it's a much more difficult balance to find. But anyhow, this I thought was a good example of, how Bret writes, because everything Bret writes is a kind of encoded message. Everything is encoded. Yeah. I'm still trying to find out what OWTQ is, and if anybody, who watches the book club thing has I'd be really interested, because I created an entire mythology, my daughter and I did, because we were working on the series, which never came to pass, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that would have been great.
Anyhow, that's So thank you again. This was wonderful fun. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, thanks for doing this. This has been great, and you've been wonderful.
Take care.
Take care. I'll see you later.
Have a great day.
You too.